Alright, G Diddy Gaming here. So today I'm going to do a tank review, which hopefully this will be the first of many. I'm going to start doing them on my tier 10 tanks. I found that the most popular tank on my channel, and one that gets usually every video will get quite a few views, is the IS-7. So what better place to start than the IS-7? So basically how this is going to work, I'm just going to talk about the tank, kind of go over it. I'm going to tell you how I set it up, the equipment I use, the ammo I use, the consumables, whatever. And then I'm going to get into gameplay, and I'm going to play 2 or 3 live games. So to talk about the IS-7, I want to talk about how you play this tank first. This tank is meant to be played aggressive. It is one of the most aggressive play styles in the game, which is why I personally think for new players it's one of the better tier 10s you can get. Like if you have a new player that is starting this game, then I would recommend this line or the American T110E5 line. But this tank is incredible for aggressive gameplay. If you can cover this lower plate, it's the weak point of the front of this tank. If you can cover that lower plate, play aggressive, get a little, maybe even if you can get hull down, and brawl and trade with your enemies. There's a few things that you do with these Russian lines that you normally wouldn't do with most other tanks, like face hugging. Now obviously you can face hug with something like an E75 or Object 705A, but face hugging really became a meta with these piked nose tanks, and that's exactly what this tank has. It's called a piked nose. So before I get there, I do want to talk about the IS-7's strengths first. The strengths are the really strong frontal armor of this tank. This tank has really strong frontal armor. So the turret, basically impenetrable. Maybe 270 at the closest, 240 around, and then 210. So maybe with like something like Jagdpanzer E100 heat ammo with 420 millimeters of heat pin, might be able to go through the turret of this tank. Might, but the chances are I wouldn't even waste ammo. If this thing is hull down where it's showing nothing but its turret, you might as well just either give up on that position or try and flank around it. This is one of the strongest turrets in the game. So impenetrable turret is one. Strong frontal armor, the piked nose that I was talking about earlier. So the way these Russian piked nose fronts work is if you angle like a normal tank, if you angle like an E75, E100, it's actually going to make the upper part, this part right here, the sky blue you see right there, the upper part of that armor is going to be weaker. So what you want to do actually is you don't want to angle this tank at all. You want to point your tank directly at them. Now, of course, that comes with a drawback, because now you're exposing your weaker plate, which is 150 millimeters. Now the top 150 millimeters is going to be very difficult to penetrate with anything other than if you catch it at a specific angle like this. Maybe you're up above shooting down at it, but if you're on the ground, I mean, you need to have some seriously high penetration to go through it. But from facing this direction, if you're not firing, like I said, heat rounds from a tier 10 tank destroyer or some other tank, might be able to go through these two plates on the top of the hull. But the bottom is pretty much an easy penetrating shot from anything tier 9 and tier 10. Some tier 8s will struggle to go through the bottom. I've bounced quite a bit, and then, you know, in a tier 8 game, it's just the angling of it. 150 millimeters sloped at that much of an angle can still be, you know, troubling for tier 8s. So if you are in a tier 8, you might want to load gold for it, but I would still recommend getting around to the side, which comes the second issue. The second issue of this tank is it has spaced armor on the sides. So this bar of spaced armor runs along, the IS-3 has it, the T10 has it, the Object 257 has it, of course, but that thing's ridiculous. And a bunch of other Russian heavies and even some mediums have this bar of spaced armor. So all that does is serve to make it really difficult to penetrate from the side. So this is what the armor looks like underneath. So you have a slope that is really difficult to penetrate from the side, and then on top of that you have 30 millimeters of spaced armor. So if you're going to shoot this thing in the side, my best recommendation is you either aim for underneath the tracks, kind of in between the tracks and the spaced armor. If you can see where the gray tracks are and the spaced armor, there's a little gap that you can aim for under there. Or you go above the spaced armor into this slab of armor right here that's 150, but even that has somewhat of an angle on it, so it can still be troubling for some tier 8s. If you want a reliable penetration on this tank, like where you can just kind of, like, obviously the butt, you can go through the rear of the tank, and pretty easily. Also, turret even from the side is sometimes still difficult to penetrate. It's pretty low profile. If you look at the if you look over here, the side of it is pretty low profile, and it doesn't raise up high from the hull, and it's pretty sloped from the side also. So the turret is basically just a no-go. But you see the gap in between the tracks and the hull. That's your go-to penetrating shot from the side, or above the line of the spaced armor. So yeah, armor great on this tank. That's definitely one of the positives is it's got pretty foolproof armor. If you just, like I said, you just point it straight at whoever you're attacking. Just point your tank, it's just straight ahead, and try and get your find some way to cover up your lower plate, whether it be face hugging, getting very close, or whether it be finding a dip in the ground. Obviously, this comes at a negative because, well, we'll get to negatives in a second. Let me finish with strengths. Speed. This thing has great speed. I want to say it's 62 kilometers per hour, so really fast. The specific power, or the weight to horsepower ratio is 18, so you might not get up there just easily. You on some flat ground, you can see right here the terrain resistances aren't just the most forgiving. So having something on your commander like off-road driving is definitely going to increase the speed. Vision range, obviously not the best. Base, it has, I think, 390. So, it's a heavy tank. Well, you don't really, me personally, I don't see just the best reason to care too much about. Obviously, view range is important on any vehicle, but when you're looking at commander slots and equipment slots, I think that there's now, obviously, I'm not playing it as a sweat. If you're playing this as a sweat, if you're playing this as somebody that just absolutely wants to just, yeah, optics would probably be better than the equipment I would use. Let me show you my equipment. So speed, super fast on this tank. The weight is good. I will say weight is really good on this tank. So if you ever get a chance to ram somebody, go ahead and ram, because as long as it's not a mouse, an E100, something like a super heavy, Type 5 heavy, something crazy. But mediums, obviously light tanks. Other heavies, this thing rams great. It has the speed, has the armor, and it has the weight to ram good. The gun on it has great alpha damage. I know it shares the same alpha with the WZ-111-5A, shares the same alpha with the mouse, the E100's little gun, that's all I can think of right now, but there's a ton of, the Rinoceronte, there's a ton of tier 10 heavies that have the 490 alpha damage gun, and that's just a perfect alpha damage. 2 shots and you're basically at 1,000 damage. 4 shots, you're at 2k. You can rack up damage on these guns really quickly. So 250 millimeters of penetration on your standard rounds. Standard shoots AP. So here's sort of the issue with this tank. Sort of the issue is it doesn't have heat rounds, which is something that at tier 10 is pretty nice to have. It has APCR, and it doesn't mean that, it just means when you find something like an Object 279E, which normally heat rounds are what you use to take that out from the front, you're just going to struggle a little bit more. because you have APCR instead of heat. Obviously, heat has can penetrate up to a specific amount of angling, so that's why it's, you know, accuracy is not this good. That's because I have commander perks on to increase the accuracy, because dispersion values on this tank is another weakness, is what I would say, obviously. So Russian heavies, I mean, so obviously I would invest in steady aim. I would even go as far as one of the next perks I get is snapshot. But perks, obviously, heavy tanks, general mechanic, track mechanic, born leader, rapid loading. You know, you're going to be brawling in this tank. You want DPM high. Off-road driving, make sure you can drive and get to those places quickly. Steady aim. The next few perks I would do would be snapshot, situational awareness, and sixth sense, and that would be my, to finish it out. It doesn't get ammo racked really. It doesn't really catch fire. I mean, it's a pretty sturdy tank. The turret turns fast enough. I mean, yeah, I would go with snapshot, sixth sense, situational awareness, along with all these: steady aim, off-road driving, rapid loading, general mechanic, and track mechanic, and born leader. All right, so weaknesses would normally be, I mean, it really doesn't have any, honestly. I mean, it just doesn't, like, outside of gun handling, dispersion, and but those are things that you can fix with commander perks. So it really gets, I mean, honestly, this is one of the most meta tier 10s right now. After they buffed it, for a little bit they took away its engine. It got a 1200 horsepower engine that they took away, and I think they gave it like 1,000 horsepower engine, but then they gave the 1200 horsepower engine back. So, you know, equipment. Obviously on every heavy I do advanced loader, and gun stabilizer. I do not run tanks without gun stabilizer unless there's something ridiculously accurate, like German tanks, like a German, you know, I can't even, maybe a German tank I wouldn't, but I really, that's honestly kind of BS, because I run a gun stabilizer on every single tank that I can. Now, if I really, really, really wanted to be meta, I would probably go with optics or vents. Probably vents, to be honest. But I like advanced powertrain on this and my Object 260, just because it helps increase the power to weight ratio, and honestly, with it makes it just feel a little less sluggish. And with this advanced powertrain, you can pretty much keep up with mediums. Without this, basically, you're only going to see that 62 km/h top speed going downhill. So consumables, if you, I mean, obviously it's your choice of you know, regular repair kits or enhanced repair kits, regular fire extinguisher, enhanced, you know. So if I really wanted to sweat, I would do enhanced repair kit, enhanced rations, and enhanced med kit. But I'm not trying to mark this tank. I'm not trying to 3 mark. You know, if I was trying to 3 mark, I would have all my you know, enhanced consumables. I would probably have way more APCR in this thing. I would probably do something more of like a ratio like this, you know, or really there. I mean, if you're really trying to 3 mark, there's really no sense in even taking AP. But I'm not trying to 3 mark this tank or anything like that. So right now 16, 12, and 2 will be fine. 2 HE just for artillery or something spongy like a Waffentrager Alpha 100 or some sort of Rheinmetall Borsig or something. But basically, that's how I run this tank. Obviously, you want to have enhanced target info on every tank. I would never play this game without enhanced target info. I look at equipment as having 3 slots, not 4, because I'm not playing without enhanced target info. But yeah, that's the IS-7. Obviously, it's just incredibly strong, incredibly fast, quick, nimble. You don't have to get you know, it's not one of those heavy tanks where you go down one lane and you're stuck there. You can kind of move and be mobile around the battlefield. It's just a good tank. So enough blabbering on. Let's get into some games. Now, I have not played a warm-up game today. I didn't play anything before this. I just kind of went straight into it. So we'll have to see how good I do. All right, Miravenko. So let's look at our list of friendlies and enemies. There's a Super Conqueror, a Mouse, Cranbon, T110E5, another IS-7, a Chisel. So with this tank, you're gonna want to brawl. This is made for aggressive gameplay, trading. I don't want to play too aggressive, obviously, but I'm thinking about going to this E2 area and popping around this corner back and forth and dishing it out with the other heavies. Obviously, you could go into the forest, but I think we need strong heavies to secure this location. And since I am a top tier heavy, I feel like it's sort of my duty to do that. So 5 seconds till we're in and we're moving. I'm going to try and display the great power to weight ratio this tank has. And right off the bat, I mean, we're already up to about 30. Let me stop for this T22 since he didn't want to. Zoom in. And just there, I mean, you can see we're easily climbing speed. That's some of that is the enhanced powertrain. But right now on this flat ground, we're gonna sit at about 40. If we catch any sort of downhill slope, it'll easily get up to the 62 km/h speed limit. But this is what you're gonna see mostly in this tank. So you catch a little bit of a downhill slope, then you can get up to something a little higher. So I'm gonna go around this corner, and he is hull down, so I'll never make that shot. But he's playing really aggressive, so I'm just gonna pop in and around this corner. I have to be really careful because there's tank destroyers that like to sit over there. This T30 wants to take the outside. I'll see what he wants to do. He wants to take the shots for me. That would be great. I am being targeted right now. So I'm a little weary about popping around this corner, but I'll do it for the Mouse. I doubt I will pin that Mouse, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to APCR. Over here we have another IS-7. Okay, so we have a lot of top tier heavy tanks right here, and they're automatically pushing me. Armor's holding up. This guy has 3 marks of excellence. I'm gonna need some help over here. There we go. You can side scrape in this tank, but you have to be a little careful based on that pike nose. He's probably firing heat at me. And as you can see, this Conqueror is just struggling to go through my tank, and I'm really not even... I angle a little bit, he's gonna pin me every time because he has... I think he's firing premium at me. Let me see if I can do about this Mouse. This Mouse is just... I mean, he's going up uncontested. I'm gonna see if I can put some shots into this T110E5 right now. Nope. I'm getting really worried by him. I have to get out of here. We do not have the manpower that we need to stay here. Alright, I'm going to face hug this IS-7, partially to do battle with him, but another way is to cover up my lower plate. Doesn't matter, apparently. Put one into the Cranbon. I'm going to end here soon. Okay, so not the best first game. Obviously, we just didn't have the pressure from their top tier heavies like we, like they did. And when I look at my team, it was me and a Chieftain Mark 6 as the only top tier tier 10 heavy tanks, while they had an IS-7, T110E5, Cranbon, Mouse, and Super Conqueror. So they were able to just play extremely aggressive around that corner. Now, this game, I do want to say, disclaimer, right now, I did not need to fire that many premium rounds, okay? Like, on the Super Conqueror's lower plate, you'll never need premium for that. That was just me kind of being in the middle of action and feeling as if I had to make sure that I got damage in if we were going to win this game, but obviously, it didn't really matter. They came around this corner, which was my only source of protection, and once they did, I was out in the open, and you can see places where they hit me, they're all aiming for the lower plate. One person, probably with the heat round from the T110E5, managed to go through my upper part. Some pretty heavily angled armor there. One person went through the side. Obviously, he had no penetration issues going through the spaced armor. But yeah, most people are going to aim for the lower plate, like you see the 2 hits right there. I'm just gonna wait for this battle to wind down and hopefully get into a better one. One more weakness that this tank has is it has, I believe, only 5 degrees of gun depression. So that makes working things like any sort of ridge basically impossible. I mean, unless you can find some way to manipulate the ground to where you can aim farther down or something. But for the most part, this is a pretty difficult tank to get into. Seeing the enemy IS-7 on the other team, he is a 3 mark, so he was a good player. I don't know how well I did. I was number 2 on the team outside of a T22 medium that had 4,000 damage. But that is obviously not a good game. I want to hop right into another one. Heilbronn, okay. Not the best, again, not the best map for the IS-7. I like playing this this tank on city maps, and truthfully, I might actually go to the city. Now, normally I wouldn't go down this one line, but I know that there's several places here, around here, that will allow me to get hull down. And if I have maybe another heavy tank go with me, like the Type 5 Heavy, we could probably do some damage. I know their heavy tank, like maybe their E100, the Panzer 7 will go down this way. Maybe their Type 5 Heavy, they have some really heavily armored tanks. But, I mean, I don't want to go here because I don't have the gun depression. And I don't want to go here just because I don't really have the view range to see this hill over here. So, I think it would be smartest to go to the town and just see what can happen. So, here we go. Hill right off the bat that we can go downhill. So, you'll be able to see that this tank can get up to speed. It will get up to that 62 km/h. And it can keep it for the most part. Like, we're driving almost flat ground. Little hill here. Let's see how much it takes me down. It takes me down to about 47. Another hill though. And you can see that we can, I mean, whatever it gets up to, it can keep that almost. Obviously this big turn right here isn't going to allow me. There you see the poor turning radius of the tank. But yeah, you'll hover around 40 km/h, and down slopes you can finally hit that 62 kph speed limit. Can I get a hit on the brass? No, I cannot. I'm gonna let this Mark 6 go first. Please go first, sir. Thank you. I will not be upset. You're good. No problem. I wish they had the no problem, because affirmative makes it sound like he was deserving of saying sorry. They used to have a no problem, I think. It's been a while. Alright, somebody's down there at the end. This is the enemy IS-7, and he has great view range because he saw me way before I saw him. So he's probably either running optics or has situational awareness on his commander. He's got something to boost his view range up, probably some enhanced rations. Most people here can run enhanced rations. So I'm going to go ahead and get hull down, switch to APCR. Let's deal with this Type 5 Heavy. So I'm covering up my lower plate right now, and I will never struggle to pin him with APCR rounds on this tank. So this could be slow, but we're just going to have to whittle down his health. Bounce. I take back exactly what I said. Yep, there's his high explosive rounds penetrating the... Alright, let me make sure I hit something. There we go. I just don't want to waste these APCR rounds. We only have 9 more. I want to make sure everything that I'm putting them into is going to pin. There we go. And see, regularly doing over 500 damage in this tank. I mean, this thing is just a beast when it comes to alpha damage. I mean, you rack up damage so quick in this tank. I'm going to switch to HE to finish him off with the... okay, he already did. And he is hull down also. We both have APCR, so we're probably not going to be able to penetrate each other. If we had heat rounds, it would be a little different. Let me see what I can do. That was chance was a shot right there. That was a chancy shot. Let's see what he does. He's going to push me and reveal his lower plate, or if I'm going to. This is 2 hull down IS-7, so we might as well. I mean, we're just kind of wasting time if we're trying to shoot each other. I really want to shoot at the FE-4202 in the back behind him and cover up my Lower plate again. All right. I have another heavy going around, so I think it's time for me to pressure this guy. He's probably... Well, he's not looking at me right now. And I miss, of course. Let me see if I can set up. I'm going to put one through his lower plate. And I missed the lower plate because he drives forward. This is terrible marksmanship. Me... Alright, E100 is going to push him as well. Alright, now I'm going to use my maneuverability to get around behind him and put one into him. I'm surprised he's not aiming at me. And in the meantime, while we're over here winning this corner, we need to turn around and I'm going to say defend the base because our base is wide open. Move T1 to NE4 or follow me, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to ping the map where a lot of enemies are right now, and hopefully we can get back in time to help defend this base. But if you were in an E100 or a Type 5 Heavy, I doubt you would be able to get back in time. But because the IS-7 is so quick, I think we will. Even game, 10 minutes left. So I don't want to throw my hit points away. I haven't done so yet. There's still plenty of tanks to get more damage. And we're losing people quickly on that flank up there. So all of our tanks are right here. So I don't need to get separated from these, but I do need to find a safer place to be. There's our base over there. So I'm looking for somewhere where I can see. Hopefully this T100 LT will spot for me. I need you to spot for me, ma'am. I can't see. Alright, I'm gonna ping him and ping for him to move up. I really need help. Thank you. So this guy knows what he's doing. Here we go. Two really heavily armored. I'm gonna be brave a little bit, see if he turns his tank. Now the weak point is right there. I'm not gonna hit that. Not while he's moving. So I'm gonna switch to, I know I'm using APCR pretty liberally in this tank, but I'm trying to get some damage in before this game ends. There we go. Let's get hull down. Only my turret can be exposed. Remember, the turret of this tank is literally basically impenetrable. They're probably firing HE at me, which I don't blame them for. But even HE rounds don't do much to this tank, you know? Alright. See, there is a Waffenträger that is also struggling to go through. Now, I should have kept it HE rounds for him, but it's not the end of the world. I'd rather preserve my DPM. It was a little too slow for him. A little too slow on the reload. So I'm going to aim for the E100's lower plate, see what I can do. No, I'm not. I'm going to have to move. I have to move again. Because this E100 is being difficult. Oh, I have butt shots for the E100. There we go. Now, I'm basically out in the open right now because I know that E100 is focused on the T100 light. So that was, you could consider that risky, but I would consider that just me being bold. Sometimes I'll do that, like if I'll either rely on my camo. I don't have 6th Sense, so I don't know if I was spotted or not. So, you know, I'm either relying on my camo or relying on my armor out in the open. It's not the most intelligent thing to do, but right now at the end of the game, I feel like we can push the pace a little bit. Try and get some late game damage in. I know the Stridsvon over there is spotting me. Or is the one that's probably looking at me, not spotting me. There we go, first kill of the game. Yep, there he is. So I'm just gonna hope that I can get into cover quickly. He'll probably hit me one more time again. And I don't think I'll be able to go through him. So I'm gonna wait for him and focus on the Type 61. See if I can get one more shot in the Type 61 before moving up on him. No. There we go, second kill of the game. Okay. Now we're gonna push the Stridsvon. So right now, what you're seeing is me just playing aggressively. This is how you play the IS-7. You don't. I mean, it's not like I'm having no regards for my health, but it's like You have armor, you have spaced armor, you're plenty protected in this tank, you have speed, you might as well push the pace on the enemy and just go. Just don't be skittish and hide, just go with this tank. And that's literally how it's meant to be played, I think, is just play as aggressive as possible. I'm also ready to fire. I'm really hoping I can get just a few more shots into this tank, maybe 2 more, get up to 5,000 damage. I'd consider that not a terrible game. Like, a pretty okay game. Strizvon is pretty fast, so who knows if I'll be able to catch it up. I just hope this T100 doesn't get too much damage in from him before I can get there. But again, somebody wants us to cap. But again, like I said, 0 issues covering ground in this tank. I mean, it's not slow. Obviously, I think it's really just the terrain resistances that slow this tank down so much. Obviously, I have the perk on there, but I mean, those terrain resistance are pretty bad. So it's like, you know, I mean, I think that off-road driving is kind of a must with this tank. Let's see if I can get up close enough to where my view range can see him. And I hope that he's in a place where I can penetrate. He is. Let me aim, let me aim, let me aim. Long aim time on this gun. Track seed it, of course. Maybe I should have aimed just a little bit longer. He's going to go behind cover, of course. I really, really want to get just at least 1 more shot in this. Into this Strizvon. Okay. Let me aim this time. Oh, that's a chancy shot. I don't even think that'll work. That will. Alright. If I can get 1 more, I don't think I'll be able to get up to 5,000. Oh well. Might as well throw it down there. I'll rush that shot. I think this T100 is going to end up killing him, but I would like to get 1 more. 1 more kill. This has been just a pretty average game. 1 more kill wouldn't hurt. Let's see what we can do. Obviously, I don't think I can overmatch the armor on the Strizvon, so I have to go for a side shot. This is 122. It is a 130 millimeter gun. I'm sorry, 130 millimeter S70. Same 130 millimeter. Some of the oh hello. There we go. 3 kills. Almost 5,000 damage. Not the best game, but decent enough. It is what it is. Second on the leaderboard. Yeah, just play this tank really, really aggressive. That's kind of what you have to do, is just play as aggressive as I was. I'm gonna play 1 more, just because I'm hoping for a better game. Yeah. Alright, not bad. Alright, steps. Okay. Obviously on this map, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go brawl it out with the other heavy tanks in this location. I mean, that's what you do. This time, let me make sure I have enough heavies to actually cover me. We have a T-57, Object 705A, IS-7, T-110E5, and an E-100. They have a T-110E5, Mark 6 Chieftain, a Conqueror, and a Mousechin, and a Tiger II. So I think we definitely have the heavy tank advantage. I'm gonna actually ping over here just to let my team know, hey, let's go that way. And then I'm going to use the IS-7's speed and maneuverability to get over there quickly, hopefully, and try and catch somebody moving into that position on the enemy team off guard. So it looks like some of our top tier heavies are going to join me over there. Stock E100, or maybe he just prefers the lower gun. I wouldn't blame him. So we just need to be quick. As you can see, I'm beating all the other heavies over there. I'm beating even the T-110E5. I hope this Object 705 in base wakes up and wants to join us. That's another really powerful tank. But yeah, right now you're just seeing the IS-7's maneuverability and speed. Speed, great armor, and great gun. Outside of it, it misses occasionally. Its dispersion values aren't always the best. I'm not gonna sit here and wait. I'm gonna go around. Also gonna say help 1 more time because for some reason my top tier heavy tanks wanted to stop right there and peek. Come on, T-125. Come on. I need help. Don't let me go over here and die by myself. And I bounced first shot, of course. I'm gonna side scrape a little. Like I said, you can side scrape, but you have to be worrisome about. You see where my where the word is? You have to. I can't think of what that was called. The insignia, whatever. You have to be a little worrisome. I'm gonna let the 100 go. Yep. There we go. What is that tank destroyer back there? No, E100. No. There we go. That is a stock Conqueror, so I'm not too worried now. I don't know what these are. That is, I think an FE 4005. So I'm a little worrisome about him. He's got a really good gun. I don't want this E100 to shoot, and then, yeah, he's gonna go forward. I'm gonna switch to HE to put one more into him. Hopefully get around 600 damage. Always fire HE at the 4005. Yes, sir. That is the point. HE at 4005s and Waffen trigger off E100s. That's the go-to. So I want that Conqueror to peak again. I'm trying to side scrape off the E100 right now. So this is difficult because you have to kind of go with him. I will take the VK4502A. I don't even know if he can penetrate me, to be honest, easily. He might have to load premium rounds just to even penetrate my lower plate. Do I have a shot? No, I don't. Wait, artillery has found us. There we go. And see, you can side scrape with the great spaced armor on the side of this tank. We have somebody pushing the pace over here, a mouse pin. I'm going to help them out a little bit. Okay, artillery helped a bit. Yep, on my way. I was going to mark on my way, but... And now you're seeing the gun depression of this tank. Don't have quite enough gun depression to get down to his lower plate, but I can still use the weak point on the top of his turret. And if he wants to wait there, I don't even care. I'll make this trade. If he wants to wait right there, he can die also. Now, let me see. There's still the FV 4005 over there. See, he's sitting in the back. I'm going to let him bounce, hopefully, off the... Can I be quick? I can, and he was firing Hesh, so he didn't do too much damage to me. U100, don't be a dickhead. Alright, so... Who else is pushing us? Conqueror. Okay. I'm not too worried about this Conqueror. He has the stock gun. And with the help of the T-175, we should be able to kill him pretty quickly. See, I'm not even... Oh! That was not good. I'm getting cocky, because he just, something just ammo racked me a little bit. And now I'm... Yeah, this isn't good. Alright, something is in the back there. And the Batchat artillery takes me out 4,000 damage. Ah! I got a little too comfortable right there, a little too cocky. I don't know exactly what was shooting me in the back. It was the Panzerknacker. Yeah, that was my fault, 100%. I just got cocky, and I thirsted the Conqueror a little too hard right there. I didn't take my time with the shot. We should be able to win this game, though. Let me see what they have left. Yeah, man, artillery killing you. I mean, it happens. You're in a heavy tank. It's kind of the way World of Tanks is. As much movement as I wanted to do. And it was funny because after that first shot, I was actually trying to move and position myself to be artillery safe, but Batchat artillery just reloads so fast. There's not much you can do. So let's wait on the C100 to finish up. He's at 3,000 damage right now. I would have been able to get a lot more damage this game too, I know. Because I'm only at 4,000 right now, which sucks. Gorilla just killed the Batchat artillery, so that's nice. Got a revenge for us. He's over here. There we go, right into the side. Alright, so this game is winding on down. Hopefully it'll end soon. The Panzer IV is on basically a one-shot for most tanks over here. All tanks over here. So hopefully we can get those two guys out of there. And maybe our artillery will shotgun the light tank over here. He's in the middle of a reload, so definitely not. Alright, light tank is the only thing left. Let's see if our artillery can do anything about it. He has 15 seconds left. He'll probably end up dying right here. Yeah. Maybe our heavy tank, the Emil 2, can kill him. 2 more shots for him. He's only got a 120 millimeter gun. Check 705, the T-110E5, and the E-100 are all on their way. Here we go. Carnarvon Action 10. See if he can close the show. Nope, a miss. 705A, will you close the show? Nope, a miss. 705A could have one-shot him right there. See if the T-110, nope. E-100 didn't miss, or somebody didn't. I think it was the E-100. He rolled really good. We have a Bison up here. It's kind of waiting. Alright, just kind of waiting on the light tank. Just a light tank chase right now. This is how a lot of World of Tanks games end. Alright, the Bison might be able to close the show. Let's see. Here he comes. Take your time. Ram? Yeah. Tusk basically just committed suicide right there. That was the only damage the Bison got the entire game. Alright, victory. I'm going to say the E-100 is first. Third place. Okay, well, if I wasn't playing so stupid, I'd probably have a lot more damage. But, yeah, let's head back to base. But yeah, thank you all for watching. This was the review on the IS-7. Hopefully I can get better at this in the future. But, yeah, let me know how I did. But thank you all for watching. This has been G Diddy Gaming. Thank you all so much.